So today will be day 6 of me being on 25 milligrams of Lamotrigine. I've been taking it at 8 o'clock p.m. every night without fail. I haven't missed any days or anything like that. Um, and I have been keeping a mood journal because if you know anything about anxiety and depression, and especially having both of those at the same time with a combination of ADHD, it's kind of difficult to keep track of when exactly your mood uh, it improves because the days just kind of run into each other. At least that's the way it is for me. And I haven't been very consistent about writing in the mood journal. It's an app that I found on my phone called Mood Notes, and I recommend it if you, it's not sponsored or anything, but I recommend it if you want to start keeping track of your moods. But so far, like I said, I haven't been really consistent because it's kind of hard to keep up with that kind of stuff, but it's better than nothing. I haven't noticed any drastic changes in my mood since I've started taking it, or any improvements really. But that's fine because it's only day 6, and back when I was on Zoloft, it took a little over a month before I was able to see any improvements. And I have a whole video about my experience on Zoloft. I was on it for 8 months and eventually had to come off it because I gained over closer to 40 pounds when I was on it. So this is my first time being on mood stabilizers, and any other side effects that I've noticed, or like my palms have been sweatier than usual, and I've gotten a little bit of heartburn. And then the first night that I took it, it was really weird because I was laying there and I was kind of hyper alert. Like I was really, really aware of any little movement, and kind of any little noise around me seemed amplified. So that was weird, but that only happened the first day, so really not a big deal. The one symptom that my psychiatrist did tell me to look out for was if I noticed any signs of a rash, because there is this potentially fatal condition called the Steven-Johnson syndrome. I think that's the name for it, where you could develop a fatal rash while you're on this medication. And I think that's one of the reasons why they start you off on a really low dose, because based on some research that I've done, that is a lot more common for that to happen if they start you on a higher dose. But when I was on Zoloft, they also started me low at 25 milligrams, and I don't even think it's really a therapeutic dose. I don't think that, at least for me, with antidepressants, uh, I really started seeing improvements at about the 100 or 150 milligram dosage. So I expect that it'll probably be the same for mood stabilizers. Other than that, I haven't noticed any changes or anything to report regarding my mood or regarding symptoms or side effects. But if I do notice a drastic change, I will come on here and talk about it. Either way, I'm going to, at least my goal is to make weekly updates so that I can keep better track of how my mood is doing and how this medication is affecting me. So hopefully I can stay on top of that and actually come on here every week and update you guys and myself, because I really want to document my journey. Symptoms that I was experiencing before taking the medication was anxiety and depression, and I really just wanted to lay in bed all day and not do anything. I had no energy. I was exhausted. Every day I would have to take 1 or 2 naps during the day. Sometimes I would wake up really late. Like by the time I woke up, it was already time to go back to sleep, and that was difficult because it wasn't just affecting me. I have a 7-year-old son, so I know it was affecting him as well. And I'm also a full-time college student, and I'm also a graphic designer, and I work from home. So when you have all of these symptoms, it's really difficult to function. And it was affecting my schoolwork. I really couldn't take the time to sit down and study like I was supposed to, um, and to sit down and do homework with my son and make sure that he was on top of his schoolwork and keep up with whatever orders I had online, because I make custom t-shirts and invitations and other things. I'll post my online store down in the description. Um, but it was just difficult overall to keep up with life. And when you have so many things going on, especially in a time like a pandemic that we're in right now, it's I just felt like I needed to do something about it. And previously, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. But like I mentioned in a previous video, um, it had been over a year since I'd been on any medication. So I had to kind of do the intake questionnaire all over again. And when I did that, my psychiatrist, which was a new psychiatrist than the one I had previously, my new psychiatrist said that based on the results of the questionnaire and the assessment, I was actually exhibiting symptoms of a bipolar disorder, um, because of mood swings and all that. And so that's kind of new to me. And so that's why she put me on mood stabilizers. I don't know if mood stabilizers are going to do anything for my anxiety or how exactly that's going to work. But I also just recently received a diagnosis of ADHD. So it's I don't know, it's kind of confusing. Like, do I have all of these conditions at once, or was I improperly or wrongly diagnosed at first? I really don't know. Like I really thought that I was on the spectrum, that I had autism spectrum disorder, because I tend to have a hard time with changes in my environment. I don't do well with changes. I don't do well with being around a lot of people or with sudden loud noises. I have always been kind of socially inept. I don't know, just all of these things that I've experienced since I was a child. And I'm sure some of that also has to do with the fact that I have cerebral palsy. So I'm damaged in multiple ways, apparently. Um, and when I went in to get my adult assessment for autism, that's when the psychologist at the time, after the assessment, said that I don't meet the criteria for autism. But part of me thinks that's because I've been so good at masking my entire life. But he did say that I had generalized anxiety disorder, which I already knew. And he also said that I had inattentive ADHD, that I met the criteria for that. So it does kind of make sense a little bit looking back at it. And I feel like if I had received the intervention that I needed while I was growing up, because I struggled a lot in middle school and high school, then I feel like things would have been a lot easier at the time. But like I said, it's just a whole mess of things, and it's kind of confusing. Like, am I just damaged in multiple ways, or are some of these diagnoses incorrect, or what is it? Because at this point, I don't know. I just, when I went back to my psychiatrist, or to the new psychiatrist, I was just kind of expecting her to put me on Zoloft or another antidepressant like I was on before. I wasn't expecting to um, get the diagnosis of having a mood disorder, and I was certainly not expecting to get a diagnosis of ADHD either. So anyway, I will continue to make these Lamotrigine update videos weekly.